question for you guys.
Tell me.
I've seen this a lot on TikTok. Like, who is the most famous person on your contact list?
Can I think about it for a sec? Who's yours?
Wait, I'm the one asking questions. You don't have to say their name.
Well, then how will I answer?
Well, you could say probably a celebrity, political figure.
I kind of feel like a loser.
I think it's my mom.
Is like the old team leads from customer care at my old company. Are they? Is that? Oh, okay.
You don't have?
I'm trying.
No,
I mean, it
I
would
don't
just
have
be
famous
like
people in my contact list.
Yeah, I mean, there's like Kenyan CEOs.
That
companies,
counts.
big companies, including like listed companies.
That counts.
Or even just our the board member for the company that we all work for is pretty famous character.
Yeah.
One of the board members who's
had
prominent roles in lots of major Kenyan organizations as a leader. So
that counts.
It would be that. Yeah.
Yeah. You?
I said my mom.
Okay. That counts.
Yeah. She's famous in the church circles.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See how Chad is looking at you.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I suppose, how do you define famous, right?
Yeah.
Well known. Yeah.
Well known. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well known.
Okay.
You're the most famous on my list.
Yeah, you are the ones who you are the one who has everyone.
For me, it's a politician, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That.
Which politician?
How do you know?
I cannot mention their names on air.
We can't.
They would never pick my calls again.
Blocked.
Yeah.
They would block me.
Yeah.
They voted no, of course. Yeah, that's why they're still on my contact list.
Who have you cancelled because they voted yes?
Okay. Who have I cancelled? I'll tell you for a fact that my political friends, most of them voted no.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't subscribe to people like Osoro. Yes. As much as
Osoro is the one who's still saying that even now he still vote yes.
Remember we saw him at the peace party?
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. You had a lot to tell us.
I was going to ask you a follow-up from last week. It was just the obvious question, like, you think the Trump shooting was a setup, yeah?
Yeah.
And by who and for what objective?
By Trump and his
himself?
team.
And his team?
And for what purpose?
To think that the current president did it.
Oh, right. Okay, to frame the current president.
Yeah.
And he's seen it. And he's a showman. Like, he is definitely an actor himself. Like, so he saw it worked for Bolsonaro. I mean, it's not like the most ridiculous, conspiracy theory.
So you know this holiday Halloween. Do you know this holiday Halloween in America? You know Halloween, yeah.
Yeah.
You dress up and get candy.
Yeah.
So like the stores sell like a lot of costume stuff. Oh yeah, Rosemary's birthday as well. Costume stuff, and there was these used to be. They probably have something much better now, but I remember when I was a kid, you could buy these little tubes that looked like little toothpaste tubes, but they were fake blood, and so it was as part of a costume because maybe you're going to be a vampire and you could have blood running down, whatever. And that blood on Trump did look a little bit like that Halloween blood. Now that I think about it, Sharon, I'm coming around to your side.
Wait,
I'm coming around.
Oh wait, you just said that you thought it was the most ridiculous thing.
What's that? The conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
It just seems. It seems far-fetched to me. That it was fake.
That he would fake a shooting, an assassination attempt?
I mean, it's what's always the problem with these sorts of things is there will have to be so many people involved, right? So it's like the chance that like one of them, you know, I don't know. And this is like the faking of the moon landing. Like the conspiracy theory would have to have 1,000 people involved, right?
Yeah.
Is there freedom of speech in
it
America?
Yeah.
Are you safe?
Well, it's not the most ridiculous thing to get 1,000 people. Like that's the spirit of America, like competition. Like I am better than you.
Yeah.
Like I am the biggest. I am the richest. Like it's the spirit of America
Undefeated.
Yeah, like it's the it's the.
You're gonna sell us out with that song.
It's so I don't think you cannot find 1,000 people to collaborate into that kind of a conspiracy.
None of them talk, like 50 years later, none of them, their kids talk and say, my dad told me this. None of them, right? Okay. Yeah. Why are you coming around to it?
I see
why you think that.
Yeah.
I see why you did that.
There's a possibility.
Yeah.
So now there's an interesting thing. You know Jules? She's a podcaster.
Yeah.
Jules.
There's a lady called Jules.
Kenya?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've sent you guys her photos before. People usually think we look alike.
Here's the photo.
My
Hold on.
doppelganger.
Down in the bottom, there's a photo of her right there.
Yeah.
See in the bottom?
Yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah. I
There
see
she
it.
is. Okay. I see Joel. I know Joel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were having a podcast, I think a few days ago. So it was, of course, we saw it yesterday. So there's this lady who's narrating her highlight of her career is having a mentor who is a man who is white. She thinks that's the best thing that has ever happened to her career.
Okay, but like it's not some interchangeable white man, right? It's a specific white guy. Like she's not recommending the kids. Here's what I recommend. Young women of Kenya, get yourself a white man mentor.
She was recommending that if you need
Any
a
white-
mentor,
Man.
yes,
Any white man.
White man.
any white man, or oh my god,
Okay.
You could go horribly wrong.
and
Okay, I'm so sorry.
And her reason
This
for
is
that,
ridiculous.
her reason for that is the amount of audacity white people give. Like when they walk into a room, they have their things put together. You know, they know what they're doing, and that's and the comment section was wild.
Well, here's the thing. Oh yeah, okay. Should we not go there? Let's not go there.
No, let's.
Can I tell you something about this watch?
No. Before you get to the watch, can we talk about the any white part?
Please, let's talk about it.
I mean, I think she probably had a positive experience with one person and like sort of generalized to the population. Because certainly if you just go to like America and just pick a random white person, they're going to be broke ass, white trash, probably addicted to some sort of opioid substance. Like these are not your mentors.
Yeah.
Right. Like maybe she had a particularly good one and she generalized to the white race.
And to be quite honest, it's not only, you shouldn't be wary of only the broke white trash. Like you should also be worried about the seemingly well-established CEOs.
Yeah.
Sure,
with families. Like just be wary. It's not, they're not interchangeable. Like
Right.
be careful.
Oh,
Did I tell you the story?
Like it's like in whatever, I don't know, I always find like no matter what institution, maybe there's like a mathematical constant here. It's like a third of the people have just completely like bluffed their way into that position. Like, and this is because this, I might have told you this, like when I did my master's at Oxford. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
It's a
it has
little-
taken us all of 11 episodes to get here.
Do I talk? I never. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's not even 20 minutes you're cussing.
Okay, sorry.
Honestly, when I got in, even though like it's so ridiculous to think back now, because I had a super successful career before I got in there, and like had crushed it on like the admissions test and all this stuff. But I thought when I got there, I would be like the dumbest of my classmates. I'd be like, they're all gonna know I'm the fraud in this area, right? And of course, like a third of the guys there were just completely bullshitted their way through life. You know, had like advantages and whatever, and like you would not want to do any project with them, like no matter how simple. Like if we were trying to organize the podcast, you would not want any of these people helping with this. There's nothing they can do that wouldn't make things worse. Yeah. And I think like I think this is just true in any elite institution. So yeah, if you take like the Fortune 500 CEOs, 500 companies, like 165 of those guys like are completely full of shit. You don't want them as your mentor.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jules got a white mentor.
Yeah, keep your wits about yourself when you're dealing with a white person.
Did I tell you a story? I told you, Chad, a story
It's a
about
struggle.
when I went to Naivas supermarket, the one in CBD. I walked in to buy breakfast. I told him.
Okay.
And then while I was paying for my breakfast, then a white guy was behind me. So, of course, I was doing my thing, hurrying and just letting me get into the queue.
You should have asked him to be a mentor.
And
Sorry, guys.
then I was walking outside the door, and then he tapped me on my back. And I turned, he's like, "Hi, how are you, pretty?" Like, "I'm fine. Do you have a moment?" I was like, "Okay."
Can I
but I'm
tell you
in a
about
rush."
my
Yeah.
Lord and Savior? Okay, I'm sorry.
Then he goes on ahead to tell me, "Oh, you're so pretty, da da da, what do you do?" So I walk him through. Me, I'm business oriented, right? This guy might be a client, okay?
Sure.
So then he goes on to say, I offer massage services.
Jesus Christ.
Mary,
if you need
who offers
White dude running around Nairobi, like offering a massage.
Yeah,
girls?
to pretty girls?
And he's carrying like a big bag on his back. I don't know if he had all his massage apparatus in that bag.
God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Then I strong.
Oh my God.
So I
Just
go
at the
ahead and
divest.
ask him like, oh, so where are you located? Where is your business located? And he's like, no, I do home
at
services.
your apartment, in your bedroom.
I was mad. and then he asks for my number. So of course I give him, because I know that situation where someone gives you their number and they want to call you immediately to see if the phone rings. So I give him my business number. So yeah, he immediately calls the number. And she's like, his Truecaller comes with a lady's name. The Truecaller from the number he calls me from is a lady's name. And I'm like, okay.
Suspicious.
It was a Rose name. Like, who is Rose? Just one of my clients. I'm like, okay.
Okay, that's an astute
I
business.
walked out of that supermarket
Sharon, as a
and
business,
ran,
as a business, you said you always
need to
with
go take
business.
a
Like
shower
you,
if you're hearing that story.
that person should be your mentor. Like literally, they're finding business by tapping on people's shoulders.
Yeah, that's a hustler.
That's a hustler.
maybe Rose is somewhere in a sack, dead.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I really want to understand what does Kenha do in Kenya?
Kenha. What is Kenha?
Kenya National
Highways Authority.
Oh, okay. Is it the government
guess
department
build
that builds the
highways,
roads?
that build and maintain
Builds and
highways.
maintains the roads? Probably.
Yeah. Oh, the building. So this is what I noticed. So on our way back, there was an accident. Someone was run over on the road. And so we had to be stopped. And our car was at the front,
Ugh.
just after the car that hit the guy.
Oh, dear.
So we were stopped. And then I noticed like 10 people in reflector jackets written Kenha, who were already there at the scene. So the person I was driving with told me that like they're always the first respondent when there's a road accident. Did you know that?
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that too. They're always the first respondent and then police. Yeah, so they had to move the body to the side, allow vehicles to pass. And then now police came with their ambulance. And that was really impressive. If like Kenha can respond.
Do they have satellites?
Yeah, I'm wondering how do they get to know? Yeah, so I think
Are they patrolling in cars on the highways already?
so maybe Thika Road being a major highway, they probably have, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the residents there probably know their work and probably will just run to them or call them. Because there were many, there were like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
managing traffic and all that.
Yeah, I mean, the way that stuff gets cleared now here, like, remember the other day when we couldn't get on the expressway because of
that
a lorry turned over and blocked both lanes? Like, in the scheme of things, like, it was a big truck that turned on its side.
Yeah, it was.
They cleared that super fast. I know you don't like...
1.5 hours is pretty quick, actually.
It's pretty quick for a thing
Yeah,
like that. Like, I feel like if that
works.
was in America, that could have been way longer than that in America.
So the expressway actually
there's
has...
there's parts of your government that are very well run.
I think so.
But not all, and
Not
the
all.
lack of transparency is like, to me, again, I read another article about 200 more policemen going to Haiti.
Yeah.
And it's like the idea that that we don't know what the contract is for this. Like, why are we, like, police that we pay with our taxes are going to, like, fix something around the world in a country we know nothing about?
Yeah.
What are we getting? Like, what's
the deal?
There has to be something. Is it coming to the government? Is it coming to somebody else? Is it coming to a crony? Like, the idea that you can do that and not make that contract public, like you can, openly send your, like, police force to another country and say, we'll take care of this for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird to me. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, some
is well
things work. Same Thika Road Highway has a weighing bridge.
Yes.
And the discipline there was just so impressive.
Yeah.
Like all lorries and trucks were on one side, 2 lanes, leaving the other 2 lanes for ordinary vehicles.
Right.
Yeah. And I noticed they were to build a toll road, yeah.
Where was that?
In Thika Road.
Yeah,
Have you noticed those
there's 2 things on Thika Road.
BRT, bus route.
Yeah, well, there's that, but then there's also a place that looks like it was set up for toll booths.
Yes.
I wondered what that was. It's
it was.
It's somewhere
supposed to
kind of
be.
as you get out of Nairobi, but not quite to Thika. It's somewhere there.
Yeah.
Like they were going to toll that road initially
Yeah.
and maybe change their mind.
Yeah. And I think they changed their mind.
And then there's the BRT, the bus rapid transit things, which I don't know if they're ever going to use those.
Yeah. So yeah, we'd give them a
thumbs up.
yeah.
The expressway has cameras, so as soon as something happens, they can tell.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
like my cousin's tire got a puncture, and then they needed some help.
Yeah.
And they'll come help you change, and quickly release you
Yeah.
free
Right.
of charge.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
away from the road.
yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's really impressive. Interesting.
You know what? You know, I told you when I'm going to get my citizenship and I'm going to run for office. Yeah. So one of my
Have you started? Have you applied?
no,
To run for
I
what?
thought about it. I thought about it.
To run for what?
MCA.
Are you serious about this?
I'm serious.
Well, he hasn't applied for citizenship.
I know,
so-
but I'll get. No, I'm in no rush. I got a plenty of work to do in my day job right now. I'm not going to run for MCA anytime soon. But like 10 years from now, I'd like to. But I got to get my citizenship first.
Okay, yeah, MCA.
So I need to marry a Kenyan in a sham marriage. You up for it? You?
Second wife.
You could make it.
Yeah. This thing where a small accident happens and they don't
Okay,
move
first
the
of all,
cars.
no, thanks. But proceed.
No thanks to what?
The second wife? Or
Yeah.
okay.
Proceed.
Noted. Where the cars have a small accident and they don't move, so they block for like 15 minutes. This nonsense has got to stop.
Oh, that's your
Is that
number
part
one
of your manifesto?
I mean, it's just like this actually would, I think, like significantly improve traffic flow in Nairobi or prevent these bad days where it's like you take so long to get to work and it's just because a minor fender bender
Yeah.
that they should have just gone off to the side and let traffic flow, but they're sitting there comparing insurances.
What are your
Yeah.
top 5? If you manage that, what next?
My issues. It's all local stuff. That's a local one, yeah.
What was the first one? The billboards?
Yeah,
Oh, you
the
said the
the massage billboards, yeah.
Now it's
Or at least the ones with like the sexy lady, yeah.
So what happens to those businesses?
Is that the word I'm not supposed to say? Lady? Oh no, female.
yeah,
Female, I shouldn't say.
yeah. Especially the way you were saying it.
How was I saying?
Okay, proceed.
Forget it.
Ladies is good.
Okay, that's my 2. Okay,
You're working on your
I'm
manifesto,
writing my
but then-
manifesto.
okay.
Over the next 10
10
years, I'll just keep adding to it.
Please walk me through your thoughts of mind when it comes to the billboards. What happens to the business owners?
How do they get new
How do they
customers?
get new? Do you have a strategy for them?
What are you their lawyers or something? What are you guys? You like the?
We are interested.
I don't.
We want to know if our vote will
I don't
count.
have any feelings about the
You don't have any
billboards.
feelings?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
All right.
We'll take this up in 10 after I get my citizenship. We'll revisit
We'll
this.
visit this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, please build up your manifesto. But yeah, why do we stop that long to
Because people don't trust it. I mean, it's like people don't trust that the system's gonna.
Why do we stop long to do
don't
what?
know.
like literally stop, take photos, move to the side of the road, let everyone go to work, and then let's go on.
Yeah.
Like let's compare. But sometimes it's also waiting for cops to come.
Yeah, because
So
the
that
story
we
might
establish-
change
we
if the
establish
car moves.
We establish faults.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of roads, there was an Uber driver strike on Monday.
Yeah, there
Oh
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I don't know.
I didn't understand what it was about.
Well, I mean, I
honestly.
don't know what to think about this because, like, okay, this is a weird thing that's happening with these cab drivers, right? Because they've gone from like an area, especially the ones here that had no meters, so every fare was negotiated, which meant that like your fares were like a portfolio of fares. There's some people you could overcharge. Like if I got in, I wasn't going to haggle, and then other people were really price sensitive, and over the course of the day, you averaged into your margins, yeah. But then Uber like basically just dropped that down to the cheapest fare, kind of, right? But like, you know, it is a private, like it's a, you know, it's like they don't have to take the deal. Like, I don't know how I feel about like, I've signed this contract with you to basically do this and I can leave anytime I want. I don't have to stay in it, but I'm going to stay in and strike and protest. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. What do you think about that?
So what I think about that is the deal is definitely really good for the consumer.
For the consumer, yeah.
Yeah, the deal is
It's often
really
at the
good
driver's
for the
expense, yeah.
consumer.
And
Like-
the Uber shareholders' expense because they're still losing money, yeah.
Like as a business.
Yeah,
because
so
not
it's like
profitable.
it's great for the customer, especially in the early days. Like it's gotten a little worse over time.
Yeah.
I remember it was like unbelievably cheap in the early days.
Yeah.
And for like luxury, you could get like a Mercedes Benz in Paris to take you from central Paris to the airport, and it'd be like 3,000 shillings, and you'd be in like this beautiful. It's gone up a bit, but The consumer, it's great. The investor in Uber and the drivers are the ones that get screwed. And it seems like
they're getting a bad deal.
They're really trying to squeeze the margins out from the driver's side.
Yeah. So like the driver is the one who's hurting.
That's the cost.
So the problem is Uber definitely had demand. Like customers, like if you want to get a taxi, you're not going to walk outside and start looking around for whose services I'm going to take. Like sit in your house, you order an Uber. Like that's definitely where people who need taxis are going to start.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for the consumer, it's like no one would want to go back to the old days where you just have like 7 or 8 guys in your phone and you call them and like, where are you? And I'm 5 minutes away. Really, they're at the river. Like now with Uber, you always know.
You always know.
It's so much better for the customer.
So Uber has taken demand completely. So if you're gonna be a taxi driver, you're gonna have to be on Uber. Mm-hmm. So and the deal that they're getting is really bad.
Yeah.
So I see why they are fighting for a better deal, and it is within their rights. Like sure, it's a willing buyer, willing seller. Like you're the one who came and signed up for Uber. Like you're the one who. But I understand the push to actually like, guys, okay, can we share the proceeds better?
I agree, because one thing I find that is off is for someone to order for an Uber, they're looking for comfort, yeah? Mm-hmm. So this person has the ability to pay. Mm-hmm. They'd rather take a matatu, but they chose Uber, right? Mm-hmm. So it means they have money. They can pay for it. Case example, I'm ordering an Uber to the airport. How much was my ticket? Why then would you give me a discount and say I'm paying nothing? You know those scenarios where you have a free ride?
Yeah.
They should just do away with such stuff. I think that is what's making...
Or rather, Uber as a company takes that. Like if you're going to give me a discount, but the driver still gets the full fare.
Yes.
Can we revisit this?
It just seems like it's just bad business.
The whole business.
Well, because it's like a contractor, kind of like you, like the contractor relationship that you work under.
Yeah.
But like, if all those people hate us and they hate us so much that they're not even going to come to us, they're going to go protest in public. Like, oh my God, if I mismanage that relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Like, talk about mismanagement of a contractor relationship from the Uber side. Like, their drivers hate the company.
And you're seeing a lot of this in this. The 2010s was the boom was Airbnb is a blah 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 dollar company, but it doesn't own any property. Uber is a blah, blah, blah billion-dollar company, but it doesn't own any cars. So you're seeing a lot of that in all of these contractor relationships, the gig economy.
Yeah.
Because the execution isn't flawless. Like it's not working for all parties. Like it's not a win-win situation for everyone.
Yeah.
And earlier the consumer was like, it was the goal was Uber was trying to get more money from investors, so they're trying to drive their user counts, like active users.
Yeah.
So they make it really cheap for the user, and the user is already used to the fact that we pay this much for rides.
Right.
So you can't change that. So the relationship between the driver and Uber as a company, that's where it's still.
So I think
innovation is still needed.
Uber's an interesting company because like they created this innovation that's like so much better than the old way. You know?
Yeah.
And yet they haven't been able to make money out of it. And I think it's just because they here was the original thing as well. First of all, it was way better for the customer, but like they were also taking advantage because initially they started out in just these luxury cars.
Yeah.
They were these Lincoln Town cars.
Yeah.
And it was because like metered taxis would be driving around a city, you'd flag them down or whatever. But then if you wanted to book like a luxury car or like book a trip to the airport, you'd call and you'd get out the yellow pages and you'd book and they'd send like a Lincoln Town car. But these guys often had so much idle time and it's like, well, let's do a thing where it's like if there's a ride nearby, it matches them up. Because these guys would often, hey, I've got a ride at 7 p.m. tonight. It's 1, I don't have anything. I'm just going to kind of park here and read the newspaper for the next 6 hours because maybe he lives 2 hours out of town and he doesn't want to go home, right? And so it was like taking advantage of that. So like there's definitely like inefficiency there. Yeah. There's people who are willing to pay like a good price. Like it's like, if it's like I can summon one and I know it's 5 minutes away instead of booking hours in advance, that was a great service for the customer.
Yeah.
But then I think if they would have just stuck with that, it would have been a much smaller but a profitable company. But they just went nuts and they
Yeah.
expanded to 100 cities,
Yeah.
South America, Brazil, Angola, like what? And like, it's one of these things, they got way ahead of it. And now and then it's got its own momentum, even though it loses money because it's, able to continue to raise money to fund those losses.
Yeah. I foresee a scenario where Uber is gonna be like a ShopRite in Kenya.
It's gonna fail.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
It's possible. Like it has failed in some countries. And
Yeah.
actually, some governments have pushed Uber out. And we're talking about Uber, like it's also
Yeah.
other. And these countries have actually led or encouraged local companies to
Right.
Yeah.
thrive. Like
Yeah.
is it Indonesia where they use Gojek? Like some of these countries they don't allow Uber in
Yeah.
because of their practices.
Little Cab is our own, yeah?
It's
Is it
difficult.
local?
It's difficult when it's not an ideal scenario where a government is coming in to force out a company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supply,
Yeah.
demand,
I don't think so either, but
economic
Yeah.
factors, but there are real issues that
But
are
it's
not
a
being
weird thing.
people are not willing to address.
Because like Uber was funded, it's funded by this like Silicon Valley hype thing, which is why like back in the old days, a company that just made losses for 10 years was known as like bankrupt and insolvent. Like there was no, it's like if you couldn't figure out how to make, maybe you had a little time to crack it, but like Silicon Valley has allowed this, right? Because it's like, there's some like, well, maybe there's, this technology, they're going to figure out self-driving cars or whatever.
I mean,
And that's
it's
what pumps it
genius.
up.
I mean, it's genius.
And that's what
like-
pumps it up. But like, so this is happening in California. This is not a Kenyan phenomenon, right? This is
Yeah.
California phenomenon. But taxi drivers are suffering here because of it.
Yeah.
It's a weird, like, to me, like, that would justify, it wouldn't be because they're a foreign company. If they're a foreign company making profits that was like doing its best and like providing great service and charging enough and the drivers are happy, but it's a foreign company that's basically supported by this ridiculous
And it's not really
hype cycle.
Like it's not really just in Kenya. Like in America, you'll see articles about people who will do the ride shares and they're not making livable wage.
Absolutely.
It's
Everywhere.
not a Kenya. It's
Especially
not a
in
Kenya
America.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got
Because
like
the cost of living is
the cost of living higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just in Kenya.
Oh, yeah.
It's all around. Like this type
Yeah.
the ride share economy is
Yeah.
not working.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like the government stopping competition from like real, businessmen who are like there to make a profit, whatever. But like, what is this beast? It's this monster company that makes losses after losses. And like those losses come and then they drive down the income of like a Kenyan taxi driver. It's nuts. Like, how can this happen? Right. So yeah, I think local solutions are usually better for these things, but it's a cool app.
It's Little Cab local?
Yeah, it's local. Craft
Yeah.
Silicon, which is a company.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How is it affiliated with Safaricom?
Yeah. What is Little
I
Cab?
wonder. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Actually, I don't even know. Am I right saying Craft Silicon is the one who founded
I
Little?
have no idea.
Yeah.
Or am I just saying words?
I don't know.
I think I've used it only once, Little Cab.
Yeah.
And why is that? Why is
the
that?
beautiful idea was that it used to have like rides for females. Oh, beside
Oh, yeah?
for ladies.
Was
Was mine bad?
hers bad? Was that bad? Help me understand this.
Yeah, so ladies could like order
Right.
specific.
A female driver.
Oh yeah, female
That's a great
driver.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I
fantastic
liked
idea.
that about
I think they might have that in Johannesburg. Uber in Johannesburg. I think you can. Am I right?
For ladies?
Did I dream that? Yeah, maybe not.
I can't-
In Dubai, they have like special taxi cabs that you can recognize that are driven by a lady that will take
lady.
ladies and kids, like the mom and the kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
or a mom or any single woman. Yeah.
What else? What else is different about it? I think it's Omo. When you come in and dominate an industry, like getting
Yeah.
people. What's the phenomenon? What's the name of the thing?
Monopoly.
Yeah, when
Yes.
you come in and every other thing is gonna be compared to you. Like
Yeah.
Right. And it is a weird
everything's gonna be
monopoly.
compared to-
And usually, like in the old days, like monopolies were like the way that the government's like granted favors to like you're the only one that's allowed to like operate this in this area.
Yeah.
Huh? But this one's a weird kind of monopoly because it's like funded by this weird shadowy force of venture capital that like there's no government behind it.
Bottomless money.
It's like a phenomenon that is happening in the U.S. financial markets that is not happening here, but it's affecting people here, obviously.
Yeah.
I used to pay from Yaya Center to home here. I used to pay 500 shillings back when I just had guys' numbers.
Okay.
Once Uber came, I started paying 200, and I don't think I've ever paid 500 cents for that kind of distance trip. Yeah.
Well, okay,
This
I'm not gonna dispute that, but of course the 500 in the first
I know.
place was hiked because of.
I know, but it was part of their portfolio, right? Like,
Yeah.
like a taxi
You call
driver.
it a portfolio. You call it a portfolio
Yeah.
of prices.
Exactly. Like that's part of his income. It's like some people he can charge more, some less. Like anybody at the market, any place where the prices are negotiated, this is what's happening here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear what they were actually saying? Like what were they? What were they?
No, I didn't. I didn't even go
Oh,
to
you just
town.
knew that there was a strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could see from influencer posts like the Uber drivers that were not participating in the protests, their tires were being slashed.
Oh,
Right.
so I actually needed to take an Uber that morning, and the Uber guy told me that there's a strike going on, and if they find that I've ordered on the app, they're going to pour oil on me.
Yeah. Oh my God.
These guys are brutal. Like
Yeah.
they slash tires, they pour oil on seats.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think Kenyans are just mad. Not mad, crazy, angry. Let's-
What, at being like messed with by foreigners?
Yeah, we are. The mood this year is just. We're just on the edge. Like,
Yeah, we are on
try
the
me.
edge. We are on the edge. I hope it's not an edge.
Did we
Yeah.
talk last week but like the IMF put out that statement saying like, we're going to listen to the people. Did we talk about this last week?
Barely. We mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going to it.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, do you really think they're going to, or is this to calm people down right now while they think about not?
How to.
Right. How to smooth it over with the Kenyan population and continue to sign
Yeah.
secret deals with Kenya.
Kenyans
Which
Kenyans
which
have
one are
said
you
no
going to bet on?
Dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that
Another one, like I got served up on my news feed, and this was kind of funny. Have you ever heard of the Ford Foundation?
Ford.
I recently heard it from the president's mouth.
Why? What did he say?
It's
That
the
is
one funding violence.
protests.
Oh, that's why they put. Okay, because all of a sudden I got served up an article that was obviously a puff piece about the Ford Foundation in Kenya, about how good they are to Kenyans, and I was like reading it. I was like, what did these guys do? Like I knew like
It was clearly a
'cause,
PR
listen,
piece.
I've lived here for 14 years. I've dealt with like all kinds of international foundations, Gates
yeah.
Foundation, all these different ones. I've never once in Kenya come across somebody from the Ford Foundation, and I would be a likely person to. Oh, there's a guy. He works for the Ford Foundation, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden they're putting out this release of like,
Oh,
we
so by
always
then,
love Kenyans
by that
and
time,
Kenya
you
and
didn't
whatever.
know what they did.
No, so I saw this and I was I noted to talk about it on the podcast to ask you because like, what do these guys do?
On Monday,
being
I think
accused
that
of-
on 15th,
yeah.
that's when the president said that they're the ones funding the protests. And then we saw there was a photo of a police. So this was the meme. There was a photo of a police car with the goons. I don't know what conversation these people were having. And then someone wrote down there the Ford Foundation.
Oh, okay. So I'm late to this story. Eh?
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
And apparently, so while people, so pro-government bloggers, while they were putting up photos of the owner of Ford Foundation and talking ill, that reminds me, I have another story. You just gave me a look and I just remembered. So they were putting up photos of the founder of the Ford Foundation.
Yep.
And Kenyans can dig into your past. And someone countered that photo with Ruto dining with the son
Yeah,
of that
of the
founder.
Ford.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Interesting.
what are you telling us? This is your person. You think he's funding our protest? This is your person.
Interesting. Okay.
Reminds me, there's a restaurant in the US called Swahili.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like he had to pay.
Yeah.
He had to pay back wages of $500,000.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
A Kenyan
Oh yeah,
immigrant.
it's a Kenyan restaurant that has been getting away with so many things, like not paying wages on time, or rather,
Do they have Kenyan
hiding
staff? Did you say
tips.
that? I was curious.
Yeah.
Like, is he underpay? I wasn't clear from just skimming it. Like, is he underpaying? Like, probably would be like illegal immigrants. So it's like, is he underpaying like Mexican staff, or does he have Kenyan? I want to see if he had like a little kind of indentured set of Kenyans working there on low wages.
So how I would tell that some of them are Kenyan staff.
Okay.
So Ruto was actually invited in 2023, last year, to that restaurant. Whatever he was going to commission, we don't know. So he dined in that restaurant.
Really?
And he actually made a speech and said, an example of such restaurants in the US is what makes us want Kenyans to come abroad and, venture into businesses.
Uh-huh.
And then 1 year later, this guy is paying fines for what? Ta-da!
Oh,
Interesting.
So Kenyans, I don't know. Once you just get affiliated with the president, that's it for you. Yeah. So during the time that he was dining at that restaurant, like the head chef was a Kenyan. There are a few Kenyans because I could hear Ruto speak Swahili to them on that video.
Okay.
I'll send you guys that
Interesting.
video.
I mean,
lot of
if
scandal.
you're going to show up with Swahili food and you want to feed people with anti-theft, you have to get, even in Nairobi, if you want anti-theft, you have to go to a specific person.
Yes.
Yeah, so I see why they would import someone to go make Obama.
Yeah. Yeah. And so as he is, as
Anti-theft? What's that?
it's a type of meat.
It's
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, got
it's
it.
a type of meat.
Anti-theft.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as those fines popped up, that article of this guy being fined, so we counter it with Ruto celebrating in that restaurant. So anytime a pro-government blogger posts something, we
There's
go back and
something.
dig.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Oh, yeah. So
Ruto is connected.
So I guess you're going to have lunch and have some anti-theft.
yeah.
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 Okay. What animal does the anti-theft come from?
It's
A
beef.
cow.
What
Yeah.
animal?
It's a beef cut.
You haven't told me anything.
Did you imagine it was a snake?
Comes from a dolphin. Comes from a.
It's beef. It's an interesting cut of beef that is cooked in a very interesting way that I've
And
never
why is
seen
it called anti-theft? Nobody
Sharon-
knows.
Sharon would be the best
Because
person to tell us.
it's huge chunks of meat. So anti-theft means no one can steal it.
Right.
Oh, like the
Oh,
way-
like too
before
big to
people
pocket, right?
exactly.
Ah,
hey, that looks
People-
good. Let me
yeah.
have some. But then this one, the way it's cut, like if you go pick one, you
Yeah.
get the whole thing. So.
Yeah. What do you
It's the reason they sell
Yeah.
like those memory cards in like a huge plastic thing, and there's little memory cards. Like, see, it's hard to steal.
Yeah. So what do you
Anti-theft.
think is gonna happen to this person's business? It's gonna incur so much losses, yeah? If
Well, I
you
don't
pay
know.
this-
I mean, I know nothing about the restaurant, but if Ruto's been there, it might be a big operation, and maybe they can sustain a $500,000 back wages and fine. Like maybe this is like a hugely successful business guy that can
How was
afford
this
that
even
fine.
discovered?
I don't know.
Like how
Yeah.
it's been
someone complained about it?
it's been on the talk for a while. Like workers there, they are Kenyan workers for sure.
Okay.
So of course they've been DMing bloggers the side what's happening,
Right.
Yeah. So this is not the first time I'm hearing about this Swahili restaurant. Yeah. I've had
Which state is it in?
It's in Washington,
it's in
D.C.
Washington, yeah. I've
Yeah,
heard
so he
about
must
it
have visited
before,
when he visited Washington.
but now it's magnified because now photos of the president
You
dining
heard
there.
about a Kenyan restaurant in Washington, D.C. because Ruto had been there, yeah? Is that the reason you'd heard of it?
No, the first time I heard of it is a friend who stays in Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, posted a photo while they're there.
Oh,
and seeing Swahili dishes
Jeez,
in
you-
America
Uh-huh.
it draws your attention, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine has dined there and they posted photos of it.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, tell us
That's
about your Ventolins.
Oh, yeah.
You're stuck.
Yeah, there's a huge pile of the Ventolin inhalers. So, these things are for people with asthma, and it like gives you relief to your lungs. You're familiar with these inhalers?
Yeah.
And so, a while back in America, they still have this medicine, but they changed the propellant. So it's like the active drug is the same, but the thing that shoots it out is
pump.
different.
Yeah.
And I'm an asthmatic, and I've used the ones in America, and it's undoubtedly worse. Like it just like you don't feel the relief, because this propellant, you feel it like pumping into your lungs. That one's like
Right.
that one's just like, it feels way too gentle, the propellant there.
Yeah.
And this is one of these things that like the doctors or the lab tests will show, no, like exact same amount of medicine gets in the lungs in both versions, but it doesn't
But
matter because I
yeah.
don't feel relief. So now
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the hospital, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so when we go back to America, people that use these inhalers can't wait to get they can't wait to get African inhalers, because you guys still use the old propellants.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like bad for the ozone layer or something like that.
Also, you're carrying it for friends?
Like that's why we changed it in America. It wasn't because the propellant was harmful. Yeah, for friends. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna smuggle in
Smuggle in.
FDA-approved
Yeah.
asthma medicine.
Yeah, I figure I'll spread them through my luggage so that it doesn't look too suspicious, you know?
Just a
Yeah.
heads up.
I won't have like a...
Check his bags. Check his bags.
Check his bag. You're not gonna give the date. Have you noticed that so now the posters of the protests, so people are getting away from giving dates.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they want to start having it impromptu.
But
Like
it's
dates
working.
is, yeah. And so now today, the protest, today is 18th July 2024. So the protests today are at Occupy Uhuru Park. And then there's a tagline like, until he leaves office. So these
Today.
protests are never gonna end.
From today onwards?
Yes.
People are going to camp there? Or just like continue
No,
to stay
Tuesdays
there?
and Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, but they want to
Okay.
random it such that Monday, there's another one, Sunday, just to keep the police unaware.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, because every time we plan, deaths,
The
violence.
last time I had, I was paying attention to this, it was they're actually camping there, like, bring your camping gear.
Yeah, they were thinking of camping there, but
People
guys were like,
show up
at
in
night, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, if I live this close, I've got good water pressure in my house. Do I really need to sleep there? Like, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. A little mug of coffee,
You had him.
Great night's sleep.
I think it would be dangerous to be out there in the night.
But I think the most important thing is to actually verify these posters. The idea with it being leaderless and
Yeah.
guided, like, it's also important for people to pay attention to who is posting these things.
Yes.
Because, like, today someone shared an Occupy JKIA. Some of these spaces are protected. Okay, like, State House for sure is protected. I don't know about JKIA. Even accessing JKIA for a protest is interesting.
But Rongai wasn't protected, but they shot 8 bullets into a child's body.
I know.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
take that back.
Yeah. So it's just verify the sources, like, just be
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
careful.
It could be like from Robert Alai, who is now pro-government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just be careful who's posting, check their
Yeah,
history.
it could be a bait.
Listen to the lawyers, listen to people who have been protesting for a while. They know these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad again on Tuesday, huh?
It was really bad.
Yeah.
It
In
was
town,
really
yeah?
bad, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
But the thing, I like the decentralized nature of the protests, like, all around the country.
I mean, that's what's crazy about it. Like, this is
They
the
even
amount of
shot a
energy.
journalist.
Is amazing.
Yeah, in Nakuru.
Yeah.
Really?
And there's a
Yeah.
demo organized by
The
media
cop shot-
houses
the
on
cop shot a
28.
journalist?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
twice on the leg.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, and she was
literally
branded.
well branded in a press jacket.
Yeah.
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 So our idea of wearing press won't work.
Just
going as
still might get shot.
Yeah.
yeah, we still might.
No, I know that. No, I mean, that's what I find funny is, like, literally every single person at those protests could wear a press jacket if they
Yeah, yeah.
because they've all got cameras. So, and they all are documenting it. Remember the TikTok girls that we saw at the at the
Peace concert.
I think we
Yeah.
already talked about them.
Tuesday
What's,
we saw a person with disability
where was
on
at
the protest. Yeah.
on TV or
Yeah, in
TV?
Nakuru. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Surrounded by tear gas.
Tear gas.
That was
Really?
Yeah,
hard
it was.
photo.
Yeah,
That
it was
also,
so
like,
hard.
hey.
Like,
Oh, man.
and
Hate
he
that
lifted the crutches up.
Really?
And
Oh, wow.
it's just smoke all over him. That was so good.
Kenyans are out. I'm so proud.
Yeah.
Kenyans are so brave. Yeah.
I mean, this is just like nothing I've ever seen. Yeah, you've never seen anything like this, right?
Yeah, I've never seen prolonged
just
protests like this,
Yeah.
especially from the young people.
Yeah.
Oh, reminds me. So, our opposition leader, I don't know, he's not my opposition leader, called for Raila. Yeah.
Okay.
I am pissed.
Fired it up to.
I am pissed.
Uh-huh.
He calls for dialogue, all right? And Gen Zs are like, we said we are not dialoguing.
Well, what does he have to do with the dialogue?
A piece
He
of
just
the
wants.
cake.
He wants to be the leader of this movement. Is that what he's doing?
Somewhat, and also have probably his people get
Yeah.
appointments in government. I think that's what maybe he's promised, whatever it is, like his party people. So two of his party people, Martha Karua and Kalonzo, have really tried talking him out of this dialogue. Like, leave these Gen Zs alone. Like, you guys have done your
their
part.
thing.
This is their thing. So I think there's this term we use on Twitter, nimekumark. I think when we're in school, if someone offended you, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
does it mean?
I'll catch you. Like, yeah, I'll catch you.
We'll meet up on closing day.
Yeah.
And teachers cannot get involved in our fights.
Yes.
I see.
So yesterday there was a presser at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hall. And apparently, from my sources, I know Raila is not in the country. He's in Ghana.
Oh, interesting.
Talk about
Yeah.
popular famous people in your phone book.
Yes, but
Yeah.
what was aired yesterday is he was supposed to appear on a presser, or rather he appeared and left. So Kalonzo was there talking, giving a presser on what they think about this protest. And then he was attacked by goons. Kalonzo.
While on the
Yes. And they came in with stones and with carrying chairs, and they chased everyone out from that hall.
where is
Who
the-
else is
where
behind
this
it?
hall?
Raila. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga.
Where is the hall? Is it in
In
Nairobi?
Kisumu. It's in Kisumu.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was chased away with everyone in it. Funny enough, Edwin Sifuna comes to post, you know what? He's like, oh, when I left that hall, everything was okay. I'm not aware about any demos that happened inside that hall. He's tweeting while at the airport. Why did they have to leave that presser before it ended? So definitely Raila sent goons to Kalonzo, you know? And we keep telling this Kalonzo guy, just stand on your own. Why do they have to lean on this Raila guy? He's just still showing us.
Wait, to what end? Like, why would Raila like
He just-
send goons on? Because they're trying to talk him out of.
Yeah, and he always wants to be the main character.
Oh, so these guys are standing in.
He's
This
seeing
Yeah,
that
they're
this
standing in his way. Yeah.
leaderless, and he's like, I'm your
Yeah.
leader.
Yeah.
I've arrived.
I'm your
You are
father.
welcome, Gen Z.
Yeah. And the
That's what usually
confidence
happens,
those
right?
goons
We talked
walked
about this
with
last week.
into that hall, like you could tell they were sent by Raila. And let me tell you guys, we dodged a bullet. Him not getting that presidency, we dodged a bullet. Yeah.
Why do you think so?
I think it would have been worse. Idealist. He's just there. Yeah. I know we got a grenade. We dodged a bullet, but got a grenade. But it's all right. We'll fight the grenade for now. Yeah,
That's big. Do you think there are many people like you who are staunch Raila supporters because you are a diehard?
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I was just scrolling through
The
Twitter
facade is
today, and everyone is
breaking.
giving their statement. From now henceforth, don't ever associate me with Raila Odinga. Da, da, da. And I love those scenes. I scroll and everyone is denouncing him. I'm
Really?
like, ooh, let's do this. And no one should ever lie to him that he can run again for presidency.
How come? Do we have a ceiling for the age of president?
I think there is.
I don't know.
He's 78,
I
I
keep
think.
saying I'm going to read the
think
Constitution.
the last election was his last chance. That's what I thought.
I thought so too.
75.
Oh, you mean a maximum age?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting. I don't
I
know.
thought so too. And he's
This
so selfish
constitution,
that
I think we are going to have to read this thing.
Are we ever
Yeah.
going to read this thing? Or are we just
Can we have a session, we
are we
read
just
it
going to
on air?
speculate? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah?
It would just
Okay,
And
let's-
just-
yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna read.
Scroll.
Let's do it, and we'll keep a copy of it here. I've
Yeah.
got a copy. Yeah.
Okay,
And,
then we can refer to.
Yeah,
yeah, we can refer to it because like this just comes up too much, and we're just all guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any non-protest stuff coming up on your feeds?
Nothing.
No?
None.
Yeah.
Just this white privilege of someone being your mentor is what popped up.
The-
Otherwise,
It's serving me a lot of American political content these days. I think because I was like reading the stuff about the Trump shooting
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot, and I was
yeah.
like, oh, this is what he wants. Because like, you know, like I'm using YouTube, which is the same as Google. Like it knows everything you're doing, right? So it's like if I'm searching on certain news, it's like, oh, okay, it serves you up shorts over there.
Yeah.
And then the piano girls have thinned out a bit.
They have thinned out.
yeah.
Yeah, the South Africans dancing down piano. I think I think like I said,
You've
I watched
watched all of
I need to let them spool up again. Like they need to build up more
Watched all of
content.
them.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something about this watch.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just set this aside for a sec. Actually, let me start with this. This is a mechanical watch. Are you familiar with? RK bought this for me, yeah?
Yeah. From Japan.
Japan, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, what it means is the way watches used to work in the
Let's
old
show the
days.
viewers the watch.
Yeah, close up. You can see the mechanics. Can you and just shift it around? So it's like the way that watches were built in the olden days before batteries and before quartz. They discovered that quartz was like a way that you could make watches be able to tell time. So the energy of it is basically from it winding, and it winds up springs, and then it slowly releases them, which drives the gears, which drives the hands. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You with me? Mm-hmm. And then it's self-winding because this thing just goes back and forth, so it keeps winding. I never have to wind it. But if I take it off and leave it on my nightstand for about a day and a half, it stops, like it's if the battery's dead. And if I wear it again, it starts up again.
Why? Because your body heat?
No, it's the motion of, see that pendulum?
You walking around.
See that pendulum? Every time it moves, it's tightening a spring, and it's putting more energy into like little springs.
It's a Seiko.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway.
So you never have to replace any battery?
So what happens is like there's a new technology. Yeah, just like the little disc batteries plus something called quartz, which it basically replaces a bunch of the logic in here that's trying to basically keep 1 second as 1 second. Yeah. Am I getting this right? Mm-hmm. Like somehow these gears know how long a second is as a spring unwinds.
Yeah, like
but in a new watch, even a super cheap watch, like there's a little bit of this mineral quartz in there, and all I can say is like that rock is really good at knowing how long 1 second is what the answer. I don't know what it is. That rock knows. So you don't need all this stuff anymore. So. What happens with these things though is they need to be sort of calibrated, and there's like, I don't know if you can see, there's a little setting thing, plus or minus. Did you see that? Look at that plus or minus.
I just see something moving on the side.
Because it doesn't have quartz, it can't be as accurate as a modern day watch. I mean, this is like 1700s technology, right? Like it's amazing that this ever existed hundreds of years ago. So it can gain time or lose time, and then what you do is
how long? 1 hour?
So this watch right now is gaining about 1 minute a day. So if I set it back to the correct time, like tomorrow it'll be a minute ahead. Day after tomorrow, 2 minutes ahead.
So in a year?
Well, the thing is, when I notice that it's way, like right now, I think I'm at least 10 minutes ahead. What time is it? It's saying 4 minutes the hour, and yeah, we're 17 minutes the hour. I'm like 13, so it's been 13 days. So maybe I'll correct it now. Yeah, but the key is it keeps getting faster, and I don't remember when I last did the thing, so I'm always thinking I'm late and I'm on time, because it's like it's amazing because because before, have you ever met people who set their watch ahead?
Yes.
To try to so with people who do this, and Maribel does this too. Yeah, that's the thing. Here's one problem with your plan. You did it, and you did it. So you're just going to subtract 5 when you look at that watch. But this one, I genuinely don't know. Like right now, I didn't know it was 13 days ago. You could have told me it was 3 days, because it's not like something I'm going to remember.
Yeah.
So just set it back. So it's like constantly keeping me on time, and it's doing that thing. It's like doing what Maribel is trying to establish with setting the clock 5 minutes ahead, and doesn't, because she gives herself 5 extra minutes.
Yeah.
This is actually achieving for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty good at keeping time in the first place, but now I've been like early.
I love that.
Yeah.
So now
do you actually refer to your watch? I realize that I don't
all the time
refer to my watch.
When checking time, I do on my phone.
I wear this thing. Like
Yeah.
I think just an accessory.
Yeah.
So this means you'll be wearing this all day, every day.
If I stop wearing it, it goes dead. But then you just got to...
Like you can't wear another watch.
If I wear another watch for more than a day, this one will go dead. But then it's easier to bring back to life. Yeah.
I like the color.
And it's got the day of the week in Japanese. Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
Cute.
You're a great
Was it a
giver.
birthday gift?
I don't know. No, just
That
for
was so
Japan. Your
thoughtful.
Japan trip, yeah.
Yeah.
It was so thoughtful. You see the way he's dissected it, like that is so thoughtful.
The best thing about is actually the purchase, like how we were buying it. So first of all, we saw a watch that was green inside in London.
When you and I were in London, we
so
came across a used watch shop.
It was a used watch, an old watch, like 1920s.
Yeah, old stuff.
Beautiful. And then it was
Unbelievable.
green. Oh, yeah. And then how much was it? Like
17,000 pounds.
Like
To
in my
3
mind,
million
that's like that's like a trillion Kenya shillings.
Yeah. It's like it's like a rare. It's like
It's a collector.
How much is it? How much was it in Kenya shillings?
to 2.5 million, maybe.
2.5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
More common would buy that easily. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's like a beautiful object, but it's also like a status good. Like it was a Rolex, wasn't it? And so like people in the know were like, oh yeah, that's a 17,000 pound watch.
Expensive
Yeah.
Rolex.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where you got the idea from.
So then I walked into
beautiful.
this shop, and then there were nice, beautiful watches. But what I loved the most was how the guy was explaining it. The Japanese guy was like, "Oh, this one is blah 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 blah," and then this one is blah, blah. I like it when someone who's selling something like will
Yeah.
tell you. I thought it would be a very nice toy for Chad. Like it would be so. Actually, you're the one who
right.
gave me the idea. You're the one who said that Chad loves watches. So when
Yeah.
I saw that,
Huh?
there's
There's conversations going on behind the scenes here. So nice.
So you can think of it as a gift from both of us.
Yeah.
Because it was.
Anyway, but when I first noticed it was getting a minute ahead, I was going to basically, okay, I got to bring this in to get it fixed. And then as I started using it, it's like after a couple months, I was like, no, this is awesome. This is like a great feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, clear.
Yeah.
I can imagine the look on your face when you just realize,
Oh,
Yeah. Like I think I'm 5 minutes late. I'm 3 minutes early.
yeah.
And you've actually found out more about the mechanical watches that
Totally.
I learned from that guy in the few minutes that
Yeah.
chatted, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I should give myself one if I ever refer to my watch.
But now you have to stop wearing your smartwatch
Yeah.
and continue
This one is
wearing
to tell
them.
me when I'm being
Call.
stressed.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
When my heart rate goes up
Oh, yeah?
because someone is driving me crazy.
Like I said,
Someone
okay.
is driving me
Who's
crazy.
driving
Yeah.
you crazy?
Me sometimes.
That was Baada, Kazi. See you next week.
See you next week.
Baada ya
Love you
Kazi.
guys.
Love you.
Now you won't fool the children of the revolution.